Good evening and thanks for joining us on Nationwide today. I'm Elizabeth Omori. President Bola Tinubu has reaffirmed that the well-being of Nigeria and her people remains the focal point as his administration continues to address the yearnings of the people. The president was at the 12th National Executive Committee meeting of the All Progressives Congress (APC) in Abuja. State House correspondent Musbaut Danwahab will bring us details of this report subsequently. Former Kano State Governor Abdullahi Umar Ganduje and Senator Surajuddin Ajibola Bashir have taken oath of office as National Chairman and National Secretary of APC. The National Executive Committee has also devolved its powers to the National Working Committee according to the constitution of the party. This is with a view to enhance stakeholders' engagement in search of credible party faithful that will occupy vacant positions of the party, including Deputy Chairman North, National Women Leader, National Legal Advisor, and National Vice Chairman Northwest. Meanwhile, the newly elected National Chairman Abdullahi Umar Ganduje has arrived Buhari House, National Secretariat of the party, amidst cheers from party faithful. The chairman earlier in his inaugural speech promised to run an open-door policy and lead with integrity. And our correspondent Saliu Wanara is at the APC Secretariat, where he will bring us up to speed on the mood at the Secretariat. Saliu, thank you so much for joining us on the news.
Thank you for having me, Elizabeth Omori.
All right, thank you. Could you bring us up to speed on the mood at the Secretariat now with the emergence of the former governor of Kano State?
All right, thank you. After the critical decision taken by the National Executive Committee of the party, which happens to be the third highest decision-making organ of the party after the National Convention and the National Advisory Council, NEC has confirmed and elected former Kano State Governor Abdullahi Umar Ganduje and Senator Surajuddin Ajibola Bashir as the National Chairman and the National Secretary, respectively. This is following the resignation voluntarily of the former National Chairman Abdullahi Adamu and Senator Iola Omishuri. Then that decision has been reached and it is now official. The party has new leaders, the two offices which are critical, Chairman and National Secretary. Other positions are still vacant. That is that of the Deputy National Chairman North. You know, the man who was the acting National Chairman was doing that in his capacity as the Deputy National Chairman North, following the resignation of the former National Chairman. And now, as it is, he is one of the ministerial nominees of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. That position is vacant. The position of National Women Leader, who is also a ministerial nominee, is vacant. And that of the National Vice Chairman Northwest, too, is vacant, as well as that of the National Legal Advisor. The mood at the Secretariat Buhari House, National Secretary of the APC here, is that of excitement from party members from across the country. They are here to show solidarity. They are happy. In fact, overwhelmingly, they are on ground to who they receive the National Chairman, the new Chairman. As we speak, the National Chairman and the National Working Committee are in a closed-door meeting for some time now.
Okay. All right. Saliu, I would like to ask you this question. You have been following proceedings till date. What will be the changes party faithful and Nigerians should be expecting with this emergence?
Well, like the National Chairman said during his inaugural speech, he assured party members and Nigerians as a whole that he's going to lead with integrity and that he's going to promote unity among party members. That his primary focus will be building intra-party peace. And, you know, that he said is critical in building a democratic tenant. And as it is, APC, according to him, being the party in power, party in government, he believes it is better the members come together and fight a common cause towards building the democracy of their choice. And among the promises he made is going to establish a democratic institute. And most importantly, too, he said the party has about 40 million members.
Okay.
And following the result of the last presidential general elections, it shows that the figure is, he questioned the figure. And in line with that, he promised to make the new membership registration digital so that they will have a more comprehensive and reliable data in terms of membership of the party. And he also promised to provide a level playing field for whoever that want to fly the party's flag subsequently in seeking elective positions. And most importantly, to party members, the national chairman, the new national chairman, he's conscious to the fact that the party will need to play positive part and build on its successes, especially with the elections, off-cycle elections coming in Imo, Kogi, and Bayelsa State.
All right, Sally, I want to thank you so much for giving us the updates. We hope to have more updates from you subsequently. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Elizabeth. I will keep updating you subsequently.
Thank you so much. To other news, President of Nigeria Labour Congress, Comrade Joseph Ajero, and that of Trade Union Congress, Comrade Festus Usifo, held a meeting with President Bola Tinubu at the State House, Abuja, where fruitful discussions were made on issues put forward by the Labour movement. A statement by the Presidential Advisor on Special Duties, Communications and Strategy, Dele Alaki, indicates that following the meeting, the Labour leaders resolved to suspend further protests, opting for constructive engagement to resolve welfare needs of Nigerians. The statement adds that President Tinubu gave his commitment that the Port Harcourt refineries will start production by December 2023 after the completion of ongoing rehabilitation contracts between NNPC Limited and an Italian firm, Maritime SPA. And the nation of our dreams can only be achieved if Nigerians work together and support progressive initiatives and hold leaders accountable. Chairman of the Christian Association of Nigeria Lagos chapter stated this at a press conference in Abuja. He says fuel subsidy is only profiting regional neighbors and smugglers who enjoy opulent returns at the expense of the citizenry, and stressed that few changes in policies will definitely come with some pains, urging Nigerians to remain calm. He described President Tinubu as a leader who has listening ears with plans to cushion the effects of the subsidy removal on the masses.
If there is any need for a call to action, it should be for the judicious and accountable use of the funds that would otherwise have been used to subsidize fuel. And thankfully, its leaders have heard clearly that the Port Harcourt refineries will be ready by December of this year.
Adebite also applauded NLC and TUC leaders on the suspension of the nationwide protests. Now, Nigeria's First Lady, Oluremi Tinubu, was in Daura, Katsina State to visit former President Muhammadu Buhari. Wife of the Vice President Nana Kashim Shettima accompanied the First Lady on the visit to the country home of the former Nigerian leader. The meeting, which was held behind closed doors, was to, among other things, check on the welfare, well-being of the former leader and pay him deserved compliments. Obviously happy with the visit, the former president appreciated the First Lady and our entourage for sparing thoughts for his welfare.
She came to see how I am settling down, and I am settling down very well. Thank you very much.
Nigeria, he notes, is in good hands with ongoing reforms soon to bear fruits. The First Lady has since departed Daura for Abuja. Secretary to the Government of the Federation, George Akume, has expressed the commitment of the federal government to ensure that internally displaced persons across the country are resettled for better living conditions. The SGF stated this when he received a delegation from Benue State Council of Traditional Rulers who paid him a courtesy visit in Abuja. Kenneth Nanim was there.
Well adorned in their royal regalia, The custodians of culture and tradition from Benue State have left home for Abuja to felicitate with their son, George Akume, on his appointment as the secretary to the government of the Federation. They are grateful to President Tinubu for acknowledging the worth of experience of their son, George Akume, which he is bringing to bear in governance. Solving farmer-herder clashes, reconstruction of some federal roads in the area, and flood and erosion control, as well as repositioning of Joseph Sarwan Taka University, are some areas of concern for the council, and they are seeking intervention of the SGF through his office.
The status of a conventional university will provide opportunities for more academic and professional programs, boost students' intake and internal revenue generation for greater growth.
The present administration having commenced on the right footing, the SGF acknowledges the current tough economic situation, but reassures them that the federal government is committed to addressing all the challenges, including the dredging of the river Benue.
Palliatives have been put in place, and if you listen to the president comment, he spelled out what he has started to do and what he's going to do for the interests of our people, particularly the most vulnerable in society.
Having been described as the unifying force between the federal government and the state, the SGF is then decorated in the traditional attire of the Tiv and Idoma nations, symbolizing unity in Benue State. Kenneth Nanim, NTA News.
Away from displacement management, it is on record that Edo State is one of the 6 major states in cannabis production in the country. This menace of illicit cannabis sativa farming in high consumption prompted the Edo State Command of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, to not only make several arrests, but destroy more than 17 tons of such farms in Oma West local government area of the state. And Paul Omokago is standing by with details from the command headquarters in Benin, who will be giving us details about what the command has been doing. Paul, thank you so much for joining us on the news, and nice to see you.
It's nice to see you too, Elizabeth. I'm right now inside the exhibit room of the NDLEA, Edo State Command, Benin City. In this particular exhibit room, we have about 87 tons of hard drugs of different types. And I think it's about the right time for the commander to actually tell us how these drugs were seized, the period, and in fact what they hope to do with these drugs that are here. Commander Buba Wakama will tell us right now what these drugs are all about and when they were seized. Commander, good to have you on NTA Nationwide.
Thank you, it's my pleasure.
Okay, please can you tell us the kind of drugs we have here and of course when they were seized?
Thank you very much. We have over 87 tons of different types of hard drugs in this exhibit room. After the NSAS, that happened in October 2020, all the exhibits in the command were destroyed. We had to start all over again. These exhibits that you are seeing are proceeds of the operations of the command from 2021 to date.
Okay, from 2021 to date, I can recall that only last week, Friday, I was part of the team that went all the way from Benin to Oman West local government area, where a farm of cannabis sativa was destroyed. And I understand in evaluating that farm, it was over more than 17 tons of cannabis sativa was destroyed in that particular operation. It was quite an experience because the entry point from to the farm, we did a walk of about 15 to 20 minutes. And the information I had was that that was one of the shortest distances that they've covered, trekking to a particular farm to carry out destructions. Commander, can you at this point now tell Nigerians the current state of your operations as well, as well as the seizures made so far?
Thank you very much. Edo State is blessed with a very fertile land. Unfortunately, the land has been converted to cultivation of cannabis sativa. Edo State is one of the cannabis producing states in this country. Our mandate is to cut the supply chain from the source of supply to other parts of the country. Between 2022, January 2022 to this July, we have destroyed over 105 hectares of cannabis sativa farms. We have arrested about 694 people and convicted 84. Among the users, among them, we have cancelled 584 drug-dependent clients and rehabilitated them, reintegrated them into the society. So the work in Edo State is very enormous. The cannabis plantations in Edo State are things that is very worrisome to us because it is the chain supply to other parts of the country. What we do is to cut off the supply chain by going into the forest to destroy the cannabis farms. These 104 hectares that were destroyed, if it was left to be harvested, it could have harvested over 300 tons of different types of hard drugs.
Okay, at this point, I also want to find out from you, in terms, because in that last week's operation, we also saw 3 suspects. Can you enlighten Nigerians on the suspects that have been arrested in the last maybe about 2 years, between January of 2022 up to July 2023? The reason why I'm asking this question is because of the fact that we understand that the key owners of the farms are not there. Just briefly.
Yes. The modus operandi is that they distance themselves from the farms. So when the farmers are arrested, they always get the information, they run away. But we follow them.
Okay, I think that is about all from this end because of time. And I want to say that it's been quite an experience. So it's back to Elizabeth in Abuja for continuation of Nationwide.
Thank you so much, Paul, for your efforts. Now, talking engineering, the Council for the Regulation of Engineering in Nigeria, COREN, says it is determined to continue to work with its mandate of standard regulation and control, assessing and educating practitioners on emerging innovations within the practice. This came up at a press conference heralding its 31st assembly from 7th to 9th of this month. Charles Alpha reports that President Bola Tinubu is expected to grace the 3-day event.
The annual General Assembly of the Council for the Regulation of Engineers in Nigeria usually brings together all cadre of engineering practitioners to discuss issues that will lift the profession to its desired heights.
COREN, under the present leadership, is being restructured for more effective and efficient operations and service delivery through promoting professionalism.
The 31st General Assembly, which will begin on the 7th and end 9th of this month, will be presided over by the professionals and scholars in the engineering space. President of the Council, Professor Sadiq Abubakar, while briefing newsmen on the upcoming event, said some of the issues that will be discussed, especially during its family forum, will range from addressing challenges facing members in all cadre to non-funding of current budget.
Many of us are always looking forward to this forum. It's a kind of family meeting where we close the door, we tell ourselves the truth, where we edge, where we mess up, where we have culprits, where we have, when we talk as a family.
Entrenching and strengthening engineering practitioners' code of conduct for resilience engineering practice in Nigeria will be the theme for the 31st General Assembly. Charles Alpha, NTA News.
As the construction of the dualized Calabar to Federal Highway continues, commuters and motorists are appealing to the federal government to ensure adequate and prompt release of funding for the completion of the project, which was awarded by the last administration. This was when NTA crew visited a section of the road where work is in progress. Morimliu Ajom reports.
For now, having a mere thought of plying the Calabar to Federal Highway for whatever reason and purpose, even with the most sophisticated vehicle, was a nightmare one would not wish to have, let alone imagining one plying the road, which has always been an endless tale of war for motorists and commuters, with attendant economic loss and man-hour. Today, the story is changing and taking a different twist, even as the commuters, who are appreciative of the progress of work, appeals to the federal government to adequately fund the contractors to fast-track the job.
I want to thank the Federal Ministry of Works for their efforts, but I want to plead with them, at least let them fund these people to speed up the job.
Initially the road was bad, so now it's motorable.
The people are working on it, they are trying, and we expect they should try more.
A visit to Kuiboku power plant section of the road reveals that work is in progress and in compliance with federal government local content demands.
Ending Sematech Nigeria Limited for the feat they have accomplished within just 1 year.
If you were to double it because it's a dual carriageway, you'll be looking at 17 point something thereabouts. All of these achievements are being done by your brothers and your sisters.
The record has it that the federal government approved the sum of 185 billion naira for the construction and dualization of the Calabar to Federal Highway, and the amount was part of the 600 billion naira raised from tax credit window by Federal Inland Revenue Service from Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation to fund critical infrastructures in the country. In Calabar, Morimliu Ajom, NTA News.
This is Nationwide on NTA. Time to head to Lagos, where Hingino is standing by with some reports. Hingino.
Thank you, Lizzie. While Lagos residents are enjoying traffic-free roads in many parts of the metropolis, some motorists plying the popular Eco Bridge are yet to experience same as a result of the partial closure of the bridge, which is currently undergoing reconstruction work. Diana Ajale, who visited the area for a situation report, has an update.
This traffic is as a result of the ongoing repairs on Eco-Link Bridge, leading to the closure of the road, connecting Alaka to CMS, Ijora and Apapa.
Best way to go Apapa and Ijora, now that place is supposed to blood, not this place. So it's so difficult for us to go early in the morning.
Those ones were threatening the integrity.
Controller, Federal Ministry of Works and Housing, Lagos State, Kesha Ulukuride, promised that the ministry is ensuring quick completion of the repairs and advised road users to remain patient as the bridge will be reopened to traffic.
Majority of those piers are in bad condition. The contractor is working at those sections now, so very soon in the next few weeks it should be through. Then we'll open that section. Then we'll do another assessment, see the critical areas too. We'll block that section just to enable the contractor to carry out the maintenance work.
The 4.1 kilometer section that makes up the Eco Bridge comprises of Alaka, Costain, Akpongbo, which serve as the easiest route for motorists coming from Surulere to Lagos Island, as well as Victoria Island.
It's affected us both your time, everything, money and everything. So I cannot go the time I'm supposed to go.
Other sections of the Eco Bridge are the Ijora and Marine Bridge, linking Apapa Wharf and the nation's seaport.
It's development. Most of the ongoing roads in Lagos State, by the time it's complete, Lagos State will look different.
Road users are appealing to the Federal Ministry of Works and Housing to ensure the contractor handling the project meets deadline. In Lagos, Diana Ajale, NTA News.
Talking environment now, adequate mitigation measures in flood flood-prone areas of Lagos State can only be achieved through robust disaster management strategy emphasizing early warning mechanisms. One of such is initiating disaster response teams at all local governments to monitor and send signals on flooding in their domain. Larry Billy has details.
Disaster response has moved to management, and the difference is found in the recovery, mitigation, and preparedness. It is an act of being proactive in anticipation of any disaster based on predictions and monitoring of vulnerable areas. Using disaster response facilities and rubbing minds with local government areas that are vulnerable to flooding, mechanisms are being initiated to monitor and protect drainages, wetlands, waste disposal systems right at the local government level.
The local government should do the needful. They should establish what we call local emergency management committee in their place. They should have markets emergency committee in their place.
Early warning system is the key, says Lagos State Emergency Response Agency.
The of Lagos is about 1.5 above sea level, which make Lagos vulnerable to flooding. And we cannot eradicate flooding, but we are going to minimize it to the minimal level. And we cannot do it all alone. We have to work with stakeholders.
We can be able to collaborate, we can have an understanding with each other.
This will initiate mapping out areas that has the highest probability of flooding, monitor and discourage actions that may aggravate the situation. In Lagos, Lanre Bileyi, NTA News.
Do not forget to follow this news broadcast live on our website at nta.ng/live and on our other social media handles displayed on your screen. For updates nationwide, will continue from our Just Network Center shortly after this timeout. Please stay with us.
Our commitment is to promote the greatest good for the greatest number of our people. On principle, we shall never falter. We will get out of this turbulence. And due to the measures we have taken, Nigeria will be better equipped and able to take advantage of the future that awaits her.
The President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, Federal Republic of Nigeria, His Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, will perform the groundbreaking ceremony of the Gwagwalada Independent Power Plant GIPP project. The event is scheduled to hold as follows. Date, Friday, 4th August 2023. Time, 10 a.m. prompt. Venue, GIPP project site, Gwagwalada, FCT Abuja. The event will also be broadcast live on major TV stations nationwide. Be part of this historic event. Announcer, NNPC Limited.
Energy for today, energy for tomorrow.
History is history, so either you know it or you don't.
My advice to the younger generation is that they should learn from what we have started and what we have left.
I did things that ordinarily I should not have been doing. What that meant was that I was working hard.
Whatever assignment you are given in life, put in your best.
The military years were a disaster.
Smoldering effects of all that is what we are trying to cure.
From dusk to dawn, 24 hours a day, NTA International is with you. In your living room, office, and everywhere, anywhere. We provide a company you desire in terms of balanced and up-to-date news, programs, and the best of entertainment. Tune in subscription to DSTV channel 251, GoTV channel 91, Freeview channel 264 or live streaming via www.visiontv.co.uk. Application for iOS or Android. Intelsat 901/332.5 degrees east. You can also see us on Facebook and YouTube for quality content on the go. NTA International, Africa's window to the world.
On to Nationwide on the network service of the NTA. Glad to have you join us in Jos. The Commandant, Nigerian Defense Army, Major General John Ochai says, in view of the global changes in military affairs, the Academy is poised to acquiring and injecting the use of technology to position the cadets to confront emerging security threats. He was speaking in Jos during the Camp Highland exercise for the Direct Shots Service Course 27 for Army and 31 for Air Force. Ndenyang and Deabayang reports.
Ahead of their personal parade, these 315 cadets from Direct Short Service Course 27 for Nigerian Army and Course 31 for the Air Force are undergoing Camp Highland exercise towards building endurance, physical agility, team spirit, and self-confidence to face various challenges as officers of the Nigerian Armed Forces. The Camp Highland exercise, which involves various obstacle crossing, is part of the last exercise the cadets will undertake before their commissioning.
Time management has been the factor, leading people, also being coordinated.
I've learned some discipline, endurance, improvisation,
Stress management, and how you can go through the process without cutting corners.
The Commandant NDA, Major General John Ochai, says the Academy is dynamic in its training. As such, the leadership training before being commissioned as officers will enhance the cadets' capabilities to conduct operations in all weather terrains. He also reaffirmed his commitment to deploying technology towards coping with emerging environmental and geopolitical issues that are changing the face of warfare.
They should be able to adapt to a rapidly changing world, and they should be able to give the necessary inject into a strategic decision-making process.
The cadets will also undergo another training in Kachia, where they will be exposed to real-life firing and all phases of warfare. In Jos, Ndenyan and Deabayang, NTA News.
In other news, wife of Plateau State Governor Helen Caleb Mutfwang is asking nursing mothers to embrace exclusive breastfeeding for steady growth of their children. She was speaking while flagging off the World Breastfeeding Week in Jos. Caleb Gochin has details.
This is Primary Health Care Center, Ukuru, where nursing mothers and other stakeholders gathered for the sensitization program of exclusive breastfeeding with the theme, Enabling Breastfeeding, Making a Difference for Working Parents. Wife of the governor underscores the importance of exclusive breastfeeding and strict adherence to the 6 months exclusive breastfeeding for steady growth of their children. Children that are exclusively breastfed, she says, are healthier.
As you breastfeed your child, it helps in the recovery of your own body after childbirth. Please don't forget that. And we also urge and encourage you that what you have witnessed here today shouldn't end with you. As you go back home, as you go to your various workplaces, join us to advocate exclusive breastfeeding for 6 months.
Wife of the governor expresses delight that the state is making steady progress with an exclusive breastfeeding rate of 38.6%. In Jos, Caleb Gochin, NTA News.
Those are the stories from here. Elizabeth, it's back to you in Abuja for the continuation of Nationwide. Thank you, Felicia. The Chief of the Naval Staff, Vice Admiral Emmanuel Ogala, is charging officers and ratings of the Nigerian Navy to work as a team and stamp out illegalities on the maritime environment of Nigeria. The CNS gave the charge during his first operational and familiarization visit to the Eastern Naval Command Headquarters, Calabar. Paul Abel reports.
One day after being decorated with his new rank by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu since he was appointed Chief of the Naval Staff, Vice Admiral Emmanuel Ogala is not resting on his oars as he is embarking on this operational and familiarization tour to the Eastern Naval Command to ascertain operational readiness of personnel under the command.
The Eastern area is one of our strategic areas when you talk about the maritime domain, and the welfare of men and officers in this area is also paramount to achieving our objective, and that's why I have to rush down here immediately to embark on my first operational visit. It is teamwork. We are supposed to face the challenges head on to ensure that we turn the tide against the criminals when it comes to illegalities in our maritime environment.
The Chief of the Naval Staff also visited different formations and areas, which include NNS Victory, Naval Barracks at Atimbo and Akum, Navy Motel and Suites under construction, Noah Secondary School, Nigerian Navy Reference Hospital Calabar, as well as Naval War College Nigeria permanent site and quarters for staff and students.
The men are already charged to ensure that safety and security is achieved in the nation's maritime domain. From Calabar, Paul Abel, NTA News.
Meanwhile, Akwa Ibom State government says it is ready to partner with the Nigerian Navy for the building of ships and provision of adequate security at the proposed fish city. This formed part of discussions between the governor of Akwa Ibom State and the Chief of Naval Staff, who was on familiarization tour in the state. Kelvin Samuel reports.
Akwa Ibom State Umoino has made his desire to turn the state into a tourist destination by maximizing the tourist potentials of the state and turning them into sources of income as captured in the Arise agenda. Playing host to the Chief of Naval Staff, Governor Eno says to achieve his desire to develop the blue sea economy, which has to do with sea-based wealth, there is the need to partner the Nigerian Navy for improved maritime security, given the coastal nature of the state.
Intend under the Cultural Revolution to tap those benefits and the blessings that the sea has. So we're focusing very strongly in our blue economy, and we therefore need more cooperation in terms of security, in terms of increasing patrol. We are ready to collaborate. We are collaborating already. All we need to do is to push more and more so that they will get it accomplished. It is for the benefit of not only our of it, but by the time it puts the capacity of the nation to feed itself and even export, generally reducing poverty.
The Naval chief, who was on familiarization tour in Akwa Ibom State, visited NNS Jubilee and Otaiwa Jetty, where he inspected naval facilities with the promise to upgrade and better the welfare of personnel. In Uyo, Kevin Samuel, NTA News.
Away from the naval activities, no doubt fuel subsidy removal has led to economic hardship in Nigeria, but government is not resting on it, as Abdullahi Umar Ilalu is standing by in Birnin Kebbi to tell us some of the measures taken by the state government to douse tension among the people. Abdullahi, thank you so much for joining us on the news.
Thank you very much, studio.
All right, could you share with us efforts by the state government to ease the effects of subsidy removal?
Since the fuel subsidy removal at the beginning of this administration, it has been an economic battlefield for the people. The people of Kebbi State are not left out. Prices of goods and services are escalating by the day, and people are just waiting for the government palliatives and coupled with the knowledge that the Kebbi State Governor is the chairman of the Federal Government Palliative Committee. But this condition is not getting easier. The NLC strike, protest yesterday was supposed to strike a raise of hope for the people. With me here is the State Director, National Orientation Agency, Joseph Yaru Machika. You are welcome, sir. Sir, in relation to the peculiarities of Kebbi State, do you think the palliatives will bring succor to the people, considering the withdrawal of the subsidy by the government?
Of course, very, very true. The palliatives will bring succor to the people of Kebbi State and Nigeria generally, because the present situation we know is a little bit difficult. And the federal government and state governments are taking measures to see that the situation is being under control. The federal government has provided or made the intent to provide buses to control transportation costs. And when these buses are made available to all states, the issue of price or high price of transportation would definitely come down. Secondly, the federal government has intended to inject millions or billions of naira into small and medium businesses. And this will create employment. This will boost the economy of the country and all the states. And people, especially the youths, will be employed. Secondly, the federal government is making effort to boost agriculture by injecting billions of naira to boost agricultural farming, especially in the fields of rice, wheat, and other agricultural produce. In fact, I want to give a reference in Kebbi State. You find out that His Excellency, the Executive Governor, Dr. Nasir Idris Kaurangandu, has made a remarkable impression and development for the first time in the governance of Kebbi State. He has provided what the common man or the common farmer in Kebbi State, of course, needs, and it has been the dream of farmers in Kebbi State, because Kebbi State are predominantly farmers. He has provided fertilizer free of charge and made sure that this fertilizer gets to the door of farmers in Kebbi State.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Except you have any other session, it is over to you, studio.
All right, thank you so much, Abdullahi. That's it from me over here. Thank you so much. Now, more than 3 weeks after the kidnap of Professor Ekanem Ephraim, a consultant neurologist with the University of Calabar Teaching Hospital, the Nigerian Medical Association is urging the Cross River State government to ensure the medical professional is released safe and sound. They pressed their demands during a protest around streets of Calabar, terminating at the governor's office. Paul Abel brings us details.
Grieved by the difficulty their colleague may be passing through in the hands of our kidnappers, with no respite in sight on our release after weeks now, the Nigerian Medical Association Cross River State chapter is once again on the street, pushing government to act fast.
All we are saying,
it as if our government is helpless. That is why we have gathered here, to come and see you and hear from you and tell you that we are not safe. We are afraid. Our question is, what next? After this woman, who will be the next? We've had serial kidnap of doctor. What is our offense in Cross River State?
At the governor's office, being received by the deputy governor, who explained that government is not quiet about the situation, but working to ensure the release of their colleague.
A lot is being done. A lot is being done. It's a matter to do with security. Not everything is said in the country. But I can assure you that both the security, both government,
We are not sleeping.
The NMA had already stopped attending to patients since the incident occurred in the state. In Calabar, Paul Abel, NTA News.
For more reports on Nationwide, let's join Gabriel in our studio in Port Harcourt.
Thank you, Lizzie. Welcome to Port Harcourt. The Nigerian Immigration Service is celebrating 60 years of breaking high grounds and pace setting both at home and internationally. Emmanuel Lini reports that the Controller of Immigration Service, Rivers State Command, Sunday James, stated this at an event to mark the 60th anniversary of the service in Port Harcourt. This reports.
The celebration of its 60th anniversary is an opportunity to celebrate some of its successes, innovations, and modest achievements, as well as celebrate some stakeholders who have contributed to its success.
We have moved from analog to digital. We have moved from paper administration to e-administration in the technology building. We are a service that has distinguished itself in the area of our professional service.
River State Governor Simeon Fubara representative says the River State government will continue to partner with the service and other agencies of government.
Partner with the service in key areas to enhance seamless operation in the realization of the core mandate of the service.
It has been an evolving service, evolved from handwritten to enhanced, seriously enhanced passports with a lot of security features. So I think it's a lot of development there.
60 years in the service is not a small journey. A lot of changes from analog to digital.
The event also featured paper presentation and goodwill messages from stakeholders who call for good behavior and contentment from the officers. In Port Harcourt, Emmanuel Lene, NTA News.
The Nigerian Navy is strengthening inter-agency cooperation among security agencies in Nigeria and inculcating team spirit towards enhanced national security. Kingsley Emery reports that this was disclosed at the Nigerian Navy Basic Training School on air, where batch 34 trainees were trained on the relevance of synergy at a tactical level of operation.
Nigeria is confronted with various security challenges in parts of the country, with the armed forces deployed to various locations towards restoring law and order. In the course of the fight against insecurity in Nigeria, experience reveals some form of unhealthy rivalry, mistrust, overlapping functions among the military, paramilitary, and other agencies which impede effective cooperation towards actualizing set objectives. This seminar for batch 34 trainees is intended to promote interagency cooperation, team spirit, mutual respect between the naval personnel at the tactical level with their sister agencies when they meet at the theater of operation.
Cooperation, collaboration, and synergy at the tactical level. The theme for this lecture is considered very important, most especially because of the contemporary security challenges our nation is facing.
The special guest of honor is the flag officer commanding Naval Training Command, represented by the Commandant, Nigerian Naval College on air.
We have been seeing some behaviors that have not been very, very good, in the relationship between the military and other agencies. So most importantly, it's always at the tactical level. So as we are giving them this knowledge now, to know that every agency is important, together we will achieve the security mandates.
Representatives of NDLEA, Nigeria Police, and NSCDC agree that over time, this interagency cooperation has enhanced their operations.
This event is very, very important for us to draw the attention of the field commander to be able to understand and appreciate the roles of other security agencies.
Navy have been very good in arresting maybe badges and shippies, which they might not be able to prosecute, which they hand over to us and we do the prosecution.
The trainees will be joining the services of Nigerian Navy as ratings on completion of their training. From One, Rivers State, I'm Kingsley Amajiri, NTA News. From One.
And that's our contribution from Port Harcourt. Nationwide, we continue with Abubakar in Maiduguri after this break. Stay with us.
We must all join hands to work hard so that we build a country for our grandchildren.
My hope is that we develop as a nation where every citizen is given his due right. There is transparency, honesty, and integrity.
Put the interests of this country first and foremost. Interests of Nigeria is being one nation, one people.
We need, if I mean, to put things right, things that have gone wrong before, to try and put right. For this, for the love of country.
In 2017, Richard Ogayemi started his farming business, a self-constructed pyramid house for poultry farming, until he was diagnosed with osteoporosis. And in our new story, we visit Ifeanyi Obiojogu, who before venturing into the fish farming business, worked as a machine operator. He became passionate about fish farming, and he partnered with a friend who was also in the same business. We'll see you next week on Airtel Touching Lives. Touching Lives.
Economy is going through a tough patch and you are being hurt by it, I know. The cost of fuel has gone up. Food and other prices have followed it. Households and businesses struggling. Things seem anxious and uncertain. I understand the hardship you face. I wish there were other ways, but there is not. If there were, I would have taken that route, as I came here to help, not to hurt the people and the nation that I love so dearly. I assure you, my fellow countrymen and women, that we are exiting the darkness to enter a new and glorious dawn.
With us nationwide up to this moment, and this is Maiduguri Network Center. Let's move on now. Nigeria Immigration Service, Borno Command, says it is determined to contribute its quota towards strengthening the nation's security through proactive and effective border policing and migration management. This came up as part of activities commemorating 60 years of the service that included advocacy visits on Borno State Governor, Shehu of Borno, and humanitarian service provision. Murjana Hassan has more on the story.
Borno State Controller Nigerian Immigration Service, Abdullahi Abbas Salihu,
was at the governor's office to thank the governor for the efforts that led to improvement in the security situation in the state. While congratulating the Nigerian immigration on 60 years of service, Governor Babagana Umar Zulum commended efforts of the Borno State Command for the sacrifice and resilience, especially manning the borders throughout the over a decade-long insurgency, and assured them of the state government's support. The State Controller Nigerian Immigration Service, Abdullahi Abbas Salihu, enumerated some achievements of the command to include introduction of e-passport and border surveillance as part of measures to strengthening security. The controller called for more synergy between Borno State government and the command for enhanced border security. The state controller and his team equally paid homage on the Shehu of Borno, Abubakar Umar Garbe Al-Kanemi, and solicited royal blessings and support. The Shehu had, while congratulating the Nigerian Immigration Service, assured them of his support and charged operatives to live up to their responsibilities, especially border policing. As part of activities marking NIS at 60 in Borno was a public lecture organized by the command that focused on porous border management for effective and efficient security.
We are going to double our effort in performing our duties, which is internal monitoring of immigrants and then manning of the border.
As Nigerian Immigration Service celebrates Diamond Jubilee all over the nation, Borno State Command celebrated the day by assisting over 50 widows of their late officers. There was medical outreach by Borno Command of the Nigerian Immigration Service targeting internally displaced persons, host community and other vulnerable members of the society, in addition to a novelty football match to cap off the celebrations. In Maiduguri, Mirjanatu Hassan, NTA News.
And that will be it for now from Maiduguri. Let us at this point return to Elizabeth in Abuja for other issues.
Thank you, Abubakar. Special advisor to the President on Media and Publicity, Ajuri Ngalale, will be on the network news of the Nigerian Television Authority tonight at 9 p.m. to speak on the vision, plans and programs earmarked by the Tinubu administration for the development of the country. Do endeavor to join us then. And that's Nationwide today. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Elizabeth Omori. Remember patriotic.